Australia will strengthen its naval capabilities under a new defence agreement worth almost $2 billion. The government will buy 200 Tomahawk cruise missiles from the US, which can attack land targets from 1,500 kilometres away. That's alongside 60 anti-radiation guided missiles as well. So this is all to be unveiled later on today. In the meantime, let's bring in Senator Jacqui Lambie. Jacqui, good to see you. Thanks for your time. What's your thoughts on this investment?
I think we already heard something about this in March or April, didn't we? So certainly about the Tomahawks. It's nice to see they've split them a little bit. So I see the RAF fighters are going to get some missiles as well as the tanks in the military, obviously in the army. I think they've got 50 allocated to them, obviously with different ranges and slightly a bit different. But I think the good news is too, if I'm reading it correctly, is that they will be manufactured here. So I think that's what I'm hearing properly, Pete, which will be great for manufacturing, and nice to know that we can finally, in this country, make missiles for ourselves. How about that?
Well, this all comes off the back of the ALP.
I feel safer already. Bring it on.
Well, this all comes off the back of the ALP conference last week. A lot of talk about AUKUS. Are you convinced that everything is hunky-dory within the Labor Party when it comes to AUKUS, Jacqui?
Oh, look, I think parties always have their differences. What do they call themselves? A broad church. So, look, that's the whole point in having these conventions or having these things once a year or once every couple of years to throw all that across the table, see how their members are feeling, what their members think. And I think that's a good thing. That's part of democracy. But you're never going to have full agreements when you've got such such big parties like that.
Yeah, but you got no doubts that AUKUS is going to go through untroubled.
Well, I'm not sure about AUKUS going through untroubled. I'm still not 100% sold on it, and I think we could spend our money more wisely, and I think we could do it a lot faster. We actually need those things like yesterday, new submarines, not in 10, 15, 20 years' time, mate. Once again, get back to manufacturing. The more that we can do here, if it's going to go ahead, the better off we're all going to be in the long run. Certainly gaining that knowledge and being able to make that sort of equipment ourselves.
Another announcement coming up later today is by the Business Council of Australia, Jacqui. It's calling, amongst some other things, for an increase to the GST to ease the financial burden on young Australians. Would you support that?
Look, I think what I would like to say to those young Australians, sure, we can do that, but right now we need them to go and have babies, Pete. We need them to go and have babies. That's what we need. Otherwise, we're going to have no one to look after us. So, how do you entice that when the cost of living is so tight? We've got young people out there that are married now thinking whether or not they'll even have one child because of the cost of living and all the rest. So it is really scary out there, but we certainly need to help them where we possibly can. And certainly owning their first home is a good way forward.
Well, if our population is 40 million by 2040, what sort of problems do you see emerging there?
I see a great deal emerging, especially considering it's going to be on an elderly population. It is going to be extremely hard if we don't have people to look after those in aged care, and that is a problem. People are just not having 5 or 6 children anymore, Pete. So this was always going to be chaos, and I think we've known about this for years. So we certainly should start working towards that right now, and also looking at putting more money into aged care for later on. So if that means here we go, going up to 12% in our super, we're all putting that 12% in over the next few years to finish that off. Why can't we just leave that 11 and put 1% in a super aged care fund or something, just to start covering that a little bit more? But we need to come up with solutions now, and we need to start putting money away for that today.
Okay, just finally, a closing thought on the Matildas. It was a great campaign and accentuated by a bit of a budget announcement on the weekend. Jacqui, $200 million extra funding for women's sport, which is no doubt needed around the country. Welcome, no doubt.
I think it's wonderful. I think $200 million is a good start. I think that we all know they're going to have to put in more, but let's start getting some new change rooms. Let's get these guys the decent facilities that they need to train on and all the rest. And good on the Matildas. They've done us proud, and I can tell you it was lovely to see your country united for a couple of weeks. I guess the wars will start again today.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that.